Hello, everyone. Welcome to class today. It's going to be very short. We'll be talking about modal verbs, and more specifically, modal verbs dealing with obligation and necessity. But even more specifically, we'll be talking about the infamous way that we use obligation in Croatian must, morish, morate, moram. Okay, so let's first hear the way we do not use modal verbs of obligation in English.
People must trust us.
Ooh.
People must trust us.
Okay.
People must trust us.
Okay, so I think Ingrid is not guilty. It's not her fault. She's not the only one who does this. A lot of us are guilty for using must way too often. And today we'll be talking about the next couple minutes this verb must and some alternatives that we'll use instead. So, must is very strong in English. We do use it, but we also use it in other forms of deduction. For example, it must have been him. It can't be him. It must have been you. You were the only one here. This is a different form of must. When we're talking about obligation and necessity, like Ingrid was using, she was trying to convince, okay, this is necessary. You must trust us, but we don't say it that way. Let's be a little more casual, or how would we say passive or polite? Must is very strong, okay? So instead, we can use, of course, have to. Have to, okay? People have to trust us, okay? It's still strong, but it's better, okay? Additionally, we can say have got to. Now, have got to is very idiomatic, and usually when we say it, we say people have got to, okay? We contract, people have got to. People have got to trust us. People have got to trust us. You've got to trust me on this. You've got to trust me. So this is very idiomatic, and we really like using this. Additionally, we can use need to. Also, there are other forms of modals. Need to actually means of necessity. It's more like we're giving advice. Sometimes the implication is the same, okay? When I say you need to do your homework, I really mean you must do your homework. But I say it in a passive, polite way. So the only difference between must and have to is in its negated form. So mustn't does not mean the same as don't have to. Okay? Mustn't means there is no choice. You mustn't do that means that you have no choice. You can't do that. It's synonymous more or less with can't. You can't do that. You mustn't do that. You don't have to do that means that, okay, you have the choice. Either you can or you don't have to, okay? You have a choice. So that is a big difference. Additionally, one last thing, in its past form, the form of must is had to. So yesterday I had to do my homework. Now, we're going to keep this under 5 minutes, and that time is ticking. So until next time, we'll see you. practice using have to. I have to do this. You have to do that. Or you've got to do this. Or you've got to do that. We don't want to hear must. Thank you. Have a good day.
Those people must trust us. Thank you.